In 1991, a fresh-faced boy turned up at the Cambridge University Computer Lab with a passion for programming and a disastrous dress sense. That was the beginning of the journey that eventually led him to Click and the 22 years of adventures that followed. So what better time than my 1000th programme to go back and see how things have changed. And boy, have they changed. As technology has expanded into all parts of our lives, so has the research being done here. The question is, will any of it change the world like some of the department's previous breakthroughs? For example, this is the world's very first webcam. Now, it was first connected to the web in 1993 and it had one very important purpose. It gave a live update on whether the coffee pot, several floors down, had any coffee in it. I can't think of anything more vital. These days, webcams are giving robots eyes on the real world, although it's taken recent advances in artificial intelligence to make sense of what they see. And that means, for example, that these robots can work together in a pack, following the lead car as I steer it recklessly down the corridor. Ordinarily, this is a really complicated task, and each robot would need loads of sensors all the way around it so it could see where every other bot was. These things, however, only have one cheap forward-facing camera each, and they've been trained to work out where all their buddies are, even if they can't see them. Instead of one computer trying to coordinate all of these robots, researchers in this lab have distributed the processing, and the machines behave, well, more like a cooperative flock of birds.
So it's basically, I'm allowing the robots to use their own brains, but we're giving them the capabilities to work with the robots around them. So giving the robots that capability really allows you to do amazing things with robots as a team.
This is kind of like a hive mind kind of thing?
Yes, in a certain sense, yes.
Meanwhile, the robots in this lab are more interested in the humans in the room.
Could you share a positive memory with me from the last week or so?
I went to my daughter's birthday party where I saw both my kids rock climbing, and they got...
My research is about how robots could be used to support people's mental well-being.
A sophisticated AI chatbot on the inside, sure, but well, on the outside it does look a bit like a toy, doesn't it? Actually though, Minya's study found that adults actually preferred talking to something that didn't look too human.
I think maybe part of the strength is almost that you don't have to take it too seriously, that you can kind of approach it in a more playful manner. And then once you get into the interaction, then you actually might realize that, oh, this is kind of helpful. But it doesn't have to be so serious. It can be kind of a casual way to approach your own mental well-being.
It's fascinating to see how much AI is being used across the department. Mental health in one lab, physical health in another. Although whose idea was it to put me in the running shoes? The important thing though is not what's going on down there, but what's going on in here. Now these are research versions of bulk standard earbuds, so you can listen to music and take phone calls on them, but at the moment the inbuilt microphone is listening to my heartbeat. Scientists here are looking at whether snugly fitting earbuds might give more reliable readings than fitness trackers that bounce around on your arms as you run.
So the head itself is quite stable, so when you move, the head moves around a lot less than like the arms, for example, and so that inherently makes it a better location for sensing. So in addition to heart rate and breathing rate, there are other things that we think we can detect. So for example, we think that you can detect the presence of arrhythmias. We have shown through our work that you can also look at factors related to walking and running, so related to your gait. And yeah, we think there's probably quite a lot that you can hear because no one else has ever tried to hear it before.
In order to clean up the audio and make sense of what the device is hearing, the team are using, yep, artificial intelligence. Look, every so often we reach a tipping point in a certain technology where many, many new things suddenly become possible. And it does feel like we are reaching one of those milestones now. AI is starting to change the world, and the next generation will be both using it as a tool and facing the consequences of it getting better and better at the tasks that we once thought were uniquely human. I wonder how different their world will be to that of the early 21st century, when I first welcomed you all to Click 1,000 programs ago.
But that is it from me on Click. It has been such a privilege to see the things that I've seen and bring those stories to you. I have had the time of my life, and I hope you've enjoyed the ride too. So thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.